Hi, this is Jessop. I'm the Breakthrough Guy, and I wanted to bring some new information to you. I'm going to talk about when to be firm as a leader. This is a question that comes up a lot for us in the training that we do. We do a lot of leadership training, a lot of horse training, a lot of helping people develop their own leadership skills to be better for themselves and for their animals. If you're into training, that's definitely what you want to focus on. So the big question that comes up all the time is when to be firm. When's it appropriate to be firm? So I'm going to give you a couple of really basic things here. Number one, safety. If you feel unsafe, that's when it's time to be firm. You've got to protect yourself. You've got to protect your space. You want to make sure that your outcomes are good in the end, but right now it's about just staying alive. So if you ever feel unsafe, it's totally okay to be firm. I see so many of my students sort of walking around on eggshells, and they've got these horses that are just like in their face, like, this is a safety issue. It's okay to be firm right now. Here's another one. We call them boundaries. We've spent a lot of time talking about boundaries, and it's related to safety. If a horse steps over a boundary, it's okay to be firm. If you step over your own personal boundaries with your own behaviors and actions, it's okay to be firm with yourself. Just be really, 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 really clear. Do it during the activity, not after. Don't be firm after the fact. It doesn't work. You've got about a 5-second window where being firm links the part of the brain that can cognitively associate the importance of that to the behavior that's been done. After that window closes, after about 3 to 5 seconds, being firm has really, really, really negative consequences on the relationship that you're trying to develop with your follower if you're a leader. So not after boundaries are overstepped, but during boundaries. So there's a trainer that I spent a lot of time with. I got a lot of inspiration for. His name was John Lyons, and John Lyons said, if your horse bites you or if your horse kicks you, you have 3 seconds. These are the words he says. You have 3 seconds to kill that horse. And he doesn't really mean destroy it, end its life, but he says you have 3 seconds to be batshit crazy firm. And in that moment, you can make really big changes. You can help that horse associate, like, oh, that's what I'm not supposed to ever do again. This not only keeps you alive, but oddly enough, it changes the behavior in the follower. The follower starts to have more respect for you. So it's critical that you be firm just at the right time, not after the problems happened, but during the problem, during the safety issue, during the boundaries. And the last thing associated to being firm is when you want to open a window, I call it. To open a window, or specifically what I mean by that is to wake up the senses. So if you've got a sleepy, sort of lethargic or dull horse and you're trying to create some kind of sensitivity, it's totally appropriate to be firm once or twice to sort of spark the energy. And once you have a little bit of energy, you can do something with it. You don't have a long time to do something with it because they'll fade back down into a more sluggish kind of energy. But you've got about 30 seconds to a minute to really do something fun because the senses have been awaked. They've become alive for you. You can start to really live in a really happier place because you were firm just once or twice. So when you can open up that window, and talk a lot about this window of opportunity, you've got a few seconds to say, come on, give me some energy. And after that, everything sort of works in your favor. So those are the only moments that you really should be firm. Either safety, boundaries, or when you want to open a window. But I got to ask you, now that you know when to be firm, would you like to know when not to be firm? When you should walk on eggshells? This is also part of leadership because it's really important that you don't do it at certain times. We talked about not being firm after the fact, but during the fact to keep your leadership skills high. But I want to give you a few more. So never be firm. Oh, two E's. If your horse is trying, they're actually attempting to do what you want. You know, if a horse is just about to cross over a ditch or some scary thing on the ground, they're just about to cross over, you see them sort of engaging in the activity, but they're hesitant. Never be firm during this phase. Unless they suddenly jump in your face, then that's a safety issue. But right now, this is about them. They're trying. They're thinking. Maybe I can do this. And if you get firm in that moment, you're going to destroy the confidence. So never get firm when the horse is trying. And another time that you never ever want to get firm is when the horse is dealing with physical limitations. In other words, the horse can't do what you think they should be able to do because they've got something wrong with them. They've got an injury in their fetlock or their foot that doesn't allow them to feel comfortable doing that. And by you forcing the horse to do what you want, I see a lot of horses physically breaking down, and the people are trying to make them canter or make them circle, and they're struggling and they're failing. And the person thinks it's about obstinance or the horse is being dull, but it's actually a physical limitation. So I want you to learn to read that and not be firm if you notice a physical limitation. Slow things down. Another big one is confusion. If the horse is unsure about what you want, they're hesitant, kind of like crossing over that ditch. They kind of get the idea of what you want, but they're a little bit unsure. If they're hesitant to do what you want, it's usually confusion, and you don't ever want to be firm with confusion. My daughter right now, she's learning times tables and division and how to do the perimeter around a rectangle and the distances, all this mathematics stuff at her age in school. And when she starts to get confused, the worst thing that I could do for her is to be upset and firm with her and say, hey, you do this, you focus right now. The best thing that I can do for her is try to simplify it, make it easier, and stay in a really soft tone of voice, not be firm, so that she can learn to really grow through this stage. So, last but not least, if the horse is afraid specifically of you, you do not want to be firm with a horse that's afraid of you, except again in safety situations. But if a horse is kind of hesitant to even be close to you, the worst thing that you could do is to say, come on, get up here. And we see a lot of dog trainers do this. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. I see a lot of dog trainers just being so firm at their dog. You get over here. Come over here right now. And you just think, no, you're being firm with an animal that's afraid to even come near you. So there's also all kinds of exceptions around these rules, but basically, never be firm with the animal or person who's following you if they're afraid of you, if they're trying to figure out what's going on, if they've got some kind of physical limitation, or if they're confused and they need to have this lesson simplified for them. So I hope this is helpful when you go out there and you start working with your animals, or if it's just about you. This isn't about horses all the time, because this is sometimes about you. When is it okay to be firm with yourself? To beat up on yourself? To stop beating up on yourselves? When should you never be firm with yourself? And it has to do with these basic concepts I'm giving yourself. Give yourself a break if you know you're trying. Don't beat up on yourself after the fact. Try to catch it during the moment and say, no, this is a safety issue. This is a boundary I don't want to cross. You're going to be a lot more successful. So as with the normal Tuesday activities we do, we have some questions that have come up. We're going to answer those. I invite you, while we're here, to ask a few questions. If we can catch them while we're talking now, that's perfect. Otherwise, we'll respond to them on Facebook today. And we also have a gift we want to share with you as we go along. So I'm going to turn the phone around and we're going to answer a few questions. Thank you.
Da, da, da.
Oh, hello.
We have one question.
And welcome, my beautiful wife. What have we got here? How do you be clear and supportive when your horse follower is trying but not doing the challenge correctly? Oh, this is such a good question, Emily. Thank you so much.
Say the question again, though. So.
How do you be firm? How do you be clear and supportive when your horse is trying but not doing the challenge correctly? They're not actually achieving the results that you want. Clarity comes from repetition. So you just keep on doing it. And your horse is going to make the mistake several times in a row. But if you end with them doing it correctly, you're going to be okay. Even this morning on the phone call with one of my students, she's asking her horse to canter, okay, on the ground, doing a circle. She's asking her horse to canter, and it takes a few times, and finally she gets it. But what I noticed is that if she had quit any earlier without getting it, her horse would never really understand it. But she did a really great job of not pushing the firmness level up, just being persistent and calm, and then finally the horse responds, and then she's able to get that clarity through. So repetition is almost always the key for you to be successful if the horse is trying. They might even be trying the wrong thing, but at least they're trying. So you just keep on keeping on until finally they try the thing you want, like trial and error, and you've got it. I hope that helps. I have a couple more questions. Thank you again. Any questions are welcome here. And if that wasn't clear, ask me another one so I can help you be clear. Okay, what do we got?
Can you put that thing in the
Yeah, hang on. Whoa, sorry. How do you like my hand? Sorry about that. Okay.
That's what I was trying to...
There we go.
You're welcome, Emily.
Thanks.
All right, here is another question. So why is it taking me so long to make progress with my horse? I've been stuck in the basics forever, it seems.
Ooh, can you relate to that? Sometimes it feels like you never make progress. This is so frustrating. I have students who I've met with who that's a big frustration. Like, how do I ever make progress? It feels like I've been here for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I've been doing the same stuff and I'm not getting anywhere. Why not? A couple of reasons. The biggest reason is your own self-confidence. You are terrified, and I apologize if I'm being firm here. You're terrified of new things. You don't want to break the status quo. You're afraid that if you do something new, it will screw up everything that you've got. And the truth is, it will. It'll screw it up. But real leaders, real masters in training, they know this, and they kind of plan for it. Like, okay, this is gonna break one. I'm gonna fix one thing to break another thing, and they're okay with that process. So you really kind of have to get used to that to break free of being in this place of no progress. You have to be willing to fail. And that's scary. So we've got to develop your own self-confidence. We've got to build you up. We've got to get you more flexible so that you can start to move in brand new directions. And I promise, if you're brave enough to try something new and trust that you're skilled enough to fix what you've broken, you'll be okay. You'll be able to do all kinds of brand new things like we do. So thank you for that. It's a wonderful question.
I have no one to ride with in my area. How can I stay motivated to keep playing with my horse?
Oh, hi, and thank you guys for joining us. I just want to let you know that we want to welcome your questions here. And we just got a question about, say that question again. I want to hear that question again.
I have no one to ride with in my area. How can I stay motivated to keep playing with my horse?
Oh, this is a hard one. Lots of people deal with this. If you live in a remote area and you don't have a lot of social connections to sort of keep you motivated, there's probably only two things I want to say in regards to this. Number one is you might want to board your horse, and I don't usually recommend boarding your horse, but it helps you surround yourself with people who are horse people, and that you can connect with them. You might want to find a place that's safe and gives your horse the needs it needs to thrive and to survive, and make sure you stay connected. But if you don't want to do that, which a lot of my clients and students don't want to do, they want to be at home with their horse like we do. And we don't have people out, the neighbors who want to come and ride with us. We don't have we live out in rural Montana. We don't have a huge variety of people that we want to ride with or would want to ride with us because of our style. And we're so progressive. A lot of people can't keep up with us. But so one of the things is if you're driven by that social need, you gotta go get it. You got to start to get people around you who do what you do and plan it regularly. And if you're in a place where you can't, you just simply cannot get that environment, then I want you to learn to enjoy your horse. And that sounds simplistic, but a lot of people, they do the horse thing for the aspect of being with other people. It's like a social thing. The horse is an excuse to go out and be with people. But if you look at my beautiful wife here, she doesn't need any of that. She doesn't need other people to go be with her horse because there's something
it's fun to ride with people.
Yeah, she enjoys it. But there's something so magical for her about just being with the animal and making that connection. And here's the great thing. You can, if you're willing to do it, and you don't have a lot of people around you to interact with, you can just take away all the rules about what you're supposed to do with horses. You don't need to do what other people are telling you to do. You could go out there and just groom them for a couple hours and just learn to love being next to that kind of energy. I mean, you got 1,200 pounds of raw, emotional, spiritual energy. Who wouldn't want to be next to that, right? So learn to just enjoy that by yourself and build that partnership with your horse. And if you want to be progressive, then you have to look for inspiration outside your circle. You have to get online. You have to look at what Rachel and I are doing or what other trainers are doing and try to mirror that and follow. In fact, join a program like our Success Pathways program where it's remote, but we're driving you forward. We're going to give you the inspiration to keep going with not only videos and education, but that moral support to keep you going. So things like that will help you go. It's a wonderful question.
And also having a goal in mind. Like, I want to teach my horse something or other, and so you can go out every day and make some progress in that area. And sometimes it's nice. I don't know about you guys, but there's something for me about just feeling my horse moving underneath me that I feel like I'm flying. And just, I never tire of that feeling, so I'm always wanting to be on or around a horse to feel their magnificent energy and presence. I love that.
So, if that's a great question. If you're in an area where you can't get out and ride with other people, learn to enjoy just being there with your horse by yourself. And or start looking for resources. So we had another question pop up.
Oh, that was it.
That was it.
Those were our questions for today.
So thank you guys for joining us. We have one more thing we want to do. We do this at the end of every Tuesday session. We want to give away a chance to go to our website, sendmelife.com, where we help inspire and motivate and build self-confidence into people so that they can go do and achieve the things that they want to do. So they can break through. That's why I'm called the breakthrough guy, because we help people break through the challenges that they're facing, whether they're personal or there's something along the lines of strategy. We're going to help you get through what's going on for you. And every week we're going to give away a free chance to sort of try out the Voice of Power. It's an expensive program because it's very time intensive, and we put everything we have into it because we know what it takes to break through emotional patterns. But we want to give you that opportunity. How do they get a free opportunity?
Okay, so we're giving away a free trial. So if you either message or email Don or I, we'll get it. And every week we choose someone new and give you the opportunity to try it out.
So I want you to hear a couple of testimonies from people who have been trying the Voice of Power out. They've been testing it. They've been working with it. They've had extraordinary results. So please just listen to these testimonies, and maybe you'll be inspired to sort of just peek into it. Just send us a message and say, yeah, let me try it. I want to try it. And we'll give you an opportunity to try it. So. And
if you've already asked before, ask again, because just because you missed out last time doesn't mean you will this time.
Pick one new person each week, so please join us. So.
Okay, so here's one. Feeling stronger every day, and that strength is working miracles in my life. Thanks so much for your incredibly personal messages.
So these are personalized. Voice of Power is a personalized message system, and this person is receiving them on a regular basis to sort of inspire them to keep going, keep trying, keep moving, keep doing more. And so there's a few more testimonies.
Okay, I used your message last night to push through a very hard predicament. I found myself in a quandary. I was frozen, unable to move forward. It was amazing how much listening to your message helped me concur with my fears.
That's someone from California. We won't give out any names because they're personal, but these are people who've given us their testimony and said, this is what's working for me.
The program was amazing. Some days subtle amazement, some days overwhelming amazement. Listening to my personalized messages twice daily helped me focus my mind towards more positive, encouraging approach. As I struggled at times with healing and turned to dreaming again. And I've dreamed for years of moving to a warmer climate. And since listening, I'm moving to Florida, of all places, where it's warm.
So big changes. Now, some of these changes might not resonate with you, but I want you to know if you're struggling with something, try the Voice of Power. It doesn't cost you anything right now to try it. You can win this opportunity. We'll give one away each week. All you have to do is connect with us. Send us a message. Say, let me try it. I need inspiration. I need motivation. Help me. And we'll be there for you.
And on top of that, if you have questions for us on our weekly sessions, if you want to see something, hear something, know something, again, send us a message or an email or phone call. And we're just here to give and share with you guys. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you soon. We'll see you next Tuesday, probably about the same time. Have a wonderful week. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.